Hey, loves.
Welcome to Sierra and Ryan.
Talk the talk. Sierra and Ryan Talk the Talk is all about putting book talkers like you at the center of the story.
And we're here to find out everyone's main character moments. We will be your guides. My name is Ryan at Rye_Brary on TikTok, and my brilliant co-host is
Sierra at cc.b.reading on TikTok as well. Ryan and I are really just so loving being a part of this community. And what we're really loving is learning so much about all of you and having book talkers just like us and getting to know them personally. So, welcome to the show.
we're making so many friends. It
I
really is. We've had so
know.
many good friend hangouts, and today I'm super excited um, because we've got one of our Canadian friends coming
Yes.
in.
Is she the
Eek!
first Canadian we'll have on the show?
I believe so. I'm so
Oh, wow.
excited. So Mimo reads. I can't wait to ask about that name. But
Yes.
Janessa is one of my favorite book talkers.
Mm.
Has like this buttery, velvety voice and is so dynamic. Has so much engagement and like
Oh
such a
my God.
giant base. I- I'll like comment and I will be shocked that Janessa is able to comment back to me because there's like 1,000 comments on stuff. It's a
I
lot.
see why she only pops in every once in a while because that could really be kind of overwhelming.
Yes, it's definitely there's like some good time away and then there's a lovely spurt for sure.
Yes,
Yep,
absolutely. I just can't wait to talk to her in general. I think I've been following her for a while. I think she's so beautiful. I think she's gorgeous. And I want to
very.
talk to her about this English degree that she has that she doesn't talk about.
Okay,
And
and all the good romance recs. Okay, so shout out to Steph Reese. Who's our friend? Steph Romance
oh,
reads.
Steph's romance book talk.
My friend, I am going to find out what is romance today. Okay. So
Yes,
I
okay,
need
because we
to,
got it wrong.
so anyhow, we're very excited to bring Janessa at Mimo Reads in for a talk.
Well, without further ado, friend, should we have a talk?
I'm ready. You ready?
Let's do it.
Welcome back. We are here with Janessa at Mimo Reads. Am I saying, I feel
Hi.
like that name needs explanation. Am I saying
Yeah.
it correctly?
So when I started, I had no idea that this was going to be anything. And I named it after my cat, who is really, really pretty. So, like most of my book boyfriends, very attractive, but he has a really super shitty personality. And I felt like that reflected the book boyfriends I was the most interested in. So, that's how I named the account. But it's people ask me all the time. It was a poor choice. It was a poor choice.
It's a cute name though,
Thank you.
so I mean
We
that's
like
fair.
it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's super super cute. So to just get people acclimated to who you are, you have 43,000 followers on TikTok, which is insane for a book talk account. Like that's massive.
It's
How did you go about doing that? Like how did it happen?
It's I'm not sure. I don't know that I could answer that question. It's a very bizarre experience. I remember when I first started posting, I just kind of joined. I was reading all the books that everybody was talking about, and I thought, like I can talk about these too. And I just started making videos, and people just started following. I didn't intentionally try to create anything. I don't know. I'm just out there, and I really try to be genuine, and I try to be kind, and people just showed up for that.
Y- Yeah,
A lot
but
of
I think
people.
that's yeah, yeah. A lot of people showed up for that, but I mean that's so important that you were genuine and were able to amass such a following. Like that's so
Yeah,
cool.
the
I
spicy
hope to be
books
like you.
help. I'm not gonna lie. The most of
Hmm.
the attention comes from the spicy books. I'm often asked for spicy recommendations, and I don't really know how that became a thing either because I do read other books. But who doesn't like some spicy books?
I love
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
I know. I feel like we need a lot of good romance recs. But I have a couple questions first, and this might be, it probably is romance. But I saw something that I thought was so cool. Stacy McEwen
Yeah, ledge.
wrote a book called Ledge,
Hmm.
and you had like a legit printed, like the little metal fastener copy, like way
Oh,
early advanced
wow.
reader. So
Yeah.
how did that come post your big following, or was that a relationship you had prior?
No, so that was I did not know Stacy before Book Talk. So she's hilarious and so funny. So I followed her, and she followed me back at some point and messaged me and said that she really likes my recommendations and asked me to be a beta reader for her for that book. So I've never done that before. I've been asked a couple of times. I've just never really had the time, but I loved Stacy so much. I carved out some space, and that was a really interesting experience because it's not taking this finished product and waving it around and talking about it. It was like I don't know if you noticed, but that has like there's post-it stuck in there. There's like it's been written on, and like I really lived with that thing for 2 weeks straight. I think trying to help Stacy, and yeah. So I'm really excited to see the finished product of that because I had a very early copy and it's been through the cleaners of this new publisher that she has because she was going to publish independently and then somebody picked her up. So not only did she have a
Oh,
chance to go back after I, but then it's been picked up elsewhere. I think it's called Angry Robot Publishers. So
cool.
it's the release date's been pushed till September actually. So yeah.
Wow.
Awesome. That is so
It
cool.
was neat. Yeah, it was neat. She's so lovely too. I felt really happy that she asked to.
I think one of my favorite things about Book Talk is that you're able to get connected with people in that sense. Like they can just easily reach out to you, and you ended up becoming a beta reader for like an author. Like that is
It's
so
crazy.
awesome.
It was.
I wanted to
Oh,
ask
sorry.
you. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. No,
Oh
go ahead.
no, I wanted to say that the connections and like that was her debut, right? So it's like people debut authors can't afford like this massive following. So the fact that they can pick and choose us out of this, this common things we have in common, this interest, this common interest is lovely. Like it's to like a gives you faith in humanity. Anyway, go ahead with your question.
Yeah. Yes. Speaking of common interest, I want to ask you about the trifecta,
Oh yeah,
okay?
yes,
Because I've been going. So the trifecta is high fantasy, spice, and romance,
that's
and
right.
you give Rex, and apparently people love this. How did this come about? Because I thought it was awesome.
Yeah,
I thought it
so
was so awesome.
it's by far besides the spice, I guess it's the thing that I'm most known for, and I have people leave constantly are like poking me and they're like where's the next where's the next one. And it is so it's I think book talk, and I don't know if I'm right about this, but I feel like we all found each other with akatar. I would say is built the foundation of this, so people like that's how I found book talk. And I think that combination, that high fantasy, is really what brought everybody together. And so I started out. I've read a lot of that stuff, and even before akatar. And so I think that's where I first started. Is I've read a lot in that world, and I didn't see anybody talking about it. So I started making videos about that. And the first video I ever made, and it's pinned on the top of my account. I said I spend the most time in my life looking for this trifecta, this equation, and so do other people, right? But it's not easy because high fantasy is really really freaking hard. Like it's hard to build, and it's you don't want an info dump, and you don't want, but then you got to throw a romance plotline in there and not make it stupid. Like it's hard. Like it's so finding those books, and I do spend the majority of my time. I read two this week that I hated, right? So I'm not going to talk about them. But it takes up a lot of your time and it saps your energy to read those big things that maybe you didn't enjoy. So I am out there looking for everybody, and I do share the ones that I love. So most recently, it's been Jess Wisecup's Between Wrath and Mercy that I have it's on my page too that I talked about, and she did a beautiful job. Another debut novel, an indie author, but beautiful job.
What's the ratio between like the ones that you love and the ones that you're like, I hated them? Like, what's
Oh,
the
it's low. Like it's like it's a rough ratio. I would say it was like for every one I love, there's like five I hate, and
Oh my
that's
god.
probably accurate. I have a stack in my bedroom on top of the cabinets of ones that I don't like, and I refuse to get rid of them. People keep telling me to donate them, but I don't. They're my books. I do what I want with them. So they're just stacked up on top. And so some I have gone back because I'll see another book talker really pushing it and I'm like, oh, maybe I was in a bad mood that day or whatever. So I do go back sometimes and give them another chance.
Yeah.
Often I was right the first time, but that's
Sears over there salivating. Say their names.
I
Say
know,
their
right? I'm
names.
I'm chaotic, so please don't pour into me that way. I just,
yeah.
Oh my gosh. So outside of tons of beta reader asks and one successful, you tend to, I think, get a lot of publisher love. And I see a lot of book boxes that you are sent.
Yeah.
So how are you managing your mail flow, friend? Tell us.
Yeah. So it's funny because I am actually sitting beside a massive amount of book boxes that came this week, and I actually am considering taking time off work to to try to get through them. I really do like, especially the indie authors. I am very cognizant of like this imbalance in the fact that this is their livelihood and it's just my hobby. So I'm very sensitive to that. And I really do try to, if you send me a book, I will read it. And sometimes I'm not on time, but it is there. It's in the pile and I will get to it. So I hope everybody, if anybody hears that, I am trying. If you sent me something and I haven't talked about it yet, it's, it's on its way.
You're like, it's coming. It's gonna be.
It's coming. I'm trying. I'm trying so hard.
Oh
I wanted to ask you about your English degree. I saw that you have it
Yeah.
mentioned on in your bio on your page, and I wanted to know more. Are you a writer? Or do you teach, or is it just like, yeah, I got this degree, and I'm like most Americans, or well, I know you're Canadian, but most people go to college like they do nothing with their degree. Are you doing anything
thank
particular with
goodness you're
yours?
not American.
I'm doing
I know.
nothing. No, I'm doing
Did you
nothing.
hear me? Are you
uh-uh.
okay?
I work for I wanted to be an English teacher. Like that's how that happened. And I thought that I wanted to teach English. And while I was in university, I was working as a substitute teacher at a private school here, and I started tutoring on the side. It was very lucrative. It was like $50 an hour, and when I was in university a long time ago, it was extremely lucrative. But I hated it. I hated it so much. And if I had to talk to another kid about the unreliable narrator and Catcher in the Rye, I was going to murder someone. Like I was just
Ugh,
done with it. So I knew that that
fair
was
enough.
not
Yeah.
my path. Yeah, I knew that was so I graduated and I looked around and my parents were my parents are immigrants and they were having none of me living in the basement. So I got a job. I got a temp job, and that led to another job. And now I work in business planning and allocation. I don't. I work with numbers all day. Actually, I do a lot of math. I do a lot of math, which makes
I
no
do
sense.
no
Allocation
math.
just gave me like trigger. I'm like, work is over today. Janessa, stop it. Like not allocations.
It's terrible. It's
Oh my
I do a lot of
god.
like sales trending. Nobody wants to hear about it. Nobody wants to hear about it. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
it's every day. Yes. When you're not doing that, tell us outside of the gorgeous shelves behind you
Mhm.
and the worlds that you escape into. Um, I feel like you're active in your personal life outside of books.
Yeah, so I was a competitive swimmer, so I have kept some of that up in terms of that. I my job actually requires me to be on the road a lot. So before COVID, I was traveling, so a lot of Canada, a little bit in the States. I'm pretty busy. I got two kids. Like I'm pretty busy. So we're trying. We're all trying our best, right?
Hey,
Right. A
making it
competitive
through.
swimmer? That is
I
so as
know.
someone who just got back into swimming again, I'm like, "Oh, this is amazing. That's so
Yeah,
cool."
yeah.
We're also finding out that the book talk community is just one of many hidden talents. Okay, so we're amazing swimmer and pre us having this recorded talk, you did let us in that you are a Grammy nominated singer.
My
So do you want to
goodness.
tell the people?
I do have a CD actually.
What? Wait a minute.
Okay,
Wait a
Well,
okay.
minute.
I thought I was kidding,
Just
and
back
now
this.
I'm fucking embarrassed.
No,
So
let's just back this up.
you're like,
Back this whole train up. Okay. So I in high school I was a competitive swimmer, and I was also a huge a musical theater nerd. And so I was in on the choir. So they recorded the choir. That's where the CD came from. So I have a CD recording of me singing a bunch of Christmas carols. And so my big claim to fame is that I was in. I don't know if you guys know Steve Amell from the Green Arrow. I don't.
I never watched the show
the
before.
no, I haven't, but I know the show.
So yeah, so he's the lead in it. Anyway, I was in Pippin with him. So that is
Oh,
my.
nice.
He and we
Oh,
graced the stage at the same time, but he would have absolutely no
I'm
idea.
drawing
I
it.
was in the chorus. He would not know me.
Everything
Oh.
has its season. Pippin is good.
Oh my god, I was
Oh
in
I
my
like
Pippin.
Pippin.
gosh.
Yeah.
That's so.
Yeah.
So you guys went to the same school.
No, he went to an all boys school. This is
Oh,
how they
okay.
cast me, is that they were desperate for women.
Oh.
So they were like, they'll just they're
Wow.
like, let Janessa
No
sing. It's
Shakespeare
fine.
nonsense slapping wigs on the boys. They were like,
Oh
we need
my
the real
god.
deal. Bring it
We
on.
need some women, yeah.
Oh my
Wow.
god.
Yeah.
That is
Wow.
hilarious.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
into that.
hilarious.
I
I
might
wanted to
trigger
ask you.
Sierra with the next
Oh
thing,
god.
Oh,
but
Oh god. I'm scared. What are you gonna ask her? What are you gonna ask her?
so I saw a post a while back on your TikTok about just really loving your books and showing them how much you love them and wanting them to show the love with a cracked spine here and there, some markers. I'm a dog ear myself.
mm.
I'm sorry, booktok. Sierra, are you having like
Jail. Jail.
Heart palpitations.
Is
Yeah.
that all the
Yes.
books? Are you a good like well lover for most of your books?
I might be the most abusive book user on the planet. So I'm sorry, Sierra. I'm sorry. It's that English degree, and you have to use your books in order to graduate. Like you have to write in the margins and dog ear, and it's the only way. It's the only way through. So I just got used to it, and I feel like they're your books, and you should use them how you want, and it makes me love them more when I go back and I see all my notes, and a lot of times I go back and I look and I don't think those things anymore either, and that is like real learning for me, right? To recognize that your opinions change and your
Very
worldview
interesting.
changes, and your growth. So
Wow. I also love like buying books that have I buy a lot of like vintage books and I love seeing
yeah,
there's a lot of old notes in there and old like school time notes from people and sometimes it's just like bullshit scribbles,
yeah,
but then sometimes there's like cute and nice kind of annotations to passages and Francis in 1912 really hooked it up. So I love that kind of stuff. Who knows?
I
Well,
do
you're like
too.
I'm never letting my
It's my
books go,
favorite part
but
about
you
used
never know who might
bookstores.
see
I
your
actually will flip
writings.
through to see if people like put things in them.
Okay, so I want to before we get to our show and tell, I want to ask you about your bedside book table, which I saw on your video. What you had stitched a video of a lady saying, "Yeah, we I want to talk about it." Are we gonna have to do therapy right now? Because I saw your video and I want to say, I thought that I was the worst person on Book Talk with the worst bedside table full of books, but you had me beat by like 1,000 books. What's going on?
No, I'm the worst person. Yeah.
on the nightstand.
Yes,
It's
on
funny
our
how many
nightstick,
people
right to
put.
this.
Sophie Lark actually put in the comments, she's like, it's like how we all thought ours was worse. Like, I love how we all thought ours was worse, and I have the worst one. Yeah. I don't know. It's how it is my TBR. So everybody has those like lovely carts that they organize. And so if they just transferred their carts to their nightstand, it would be the same thing, right? That's how I'll defend myself. The worst thing is that they're on the floor. So like to get out of bed, you actually have to like shuffle down and like move out of the way.
Oh my god!
It's not, like, whatever.
When
That's
I I literally like my jaw was like, "Oh my god,"
So the worst
because it
part
was so.
is there's actually the bed. There's a shelf at the end of the bed too. I should have shown you guys. You guys would have died. But so they're all like, if I kick too hard, I'll just kick books over. Like they're at the end
Oh
of
my
the
god.
bed. It's, not, it can't be healthy. I don't know. We're here now.
We're
Oh
all
my
in it
god.
together
That's
too.
right.
I mean,
Oh my god. Oh gosh. I think that's a perfect time for us to transition to our show and tell. Every episode we ask our special guests to either show us something from their shelves or whatever it is that just,
nightstand.
represents them. Nightstand.
I'd have
So,
to run
what
it.
is your show and tell for today?
Jeez. Oh God, this is my original childhood copy. This is gonna bother the crap out of Sierra. It's got masking tape on the back, and it's
Oh
my
my
Lord of the
god.
Rings, Fellowship of the Ring copy. It has my yeah.
Wow.
It's like very well. I've like written
I've
on
never seen that
inside.
cover.
No, it's the one that I read 1,000 times. It's been in my backpack. It's been and like I wrote, I abused the whole inside of it.
Oh my
Just
god.
with it's got all. So I loved it because it had the good maps inside of it, and I haven't. Some of these maps aren't in all the copies I've seen. So this
Oh.
was the start of for me. I read this before I read The Hobbit. Actually, this was the first Tolkien that I read, and for me, this is what started fantasy for me. So it's actually a really special book, and
Mm.
I've never really been asked about it, so it's interesting to talk about it here today because it's had so much.
What a really nice piece of sentimental value to have with you. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just. Do you like read that version often now, even in adulthood? Are you finding that you pick up that one a lot?
Yeah,
If you decide you want to like reread it, you know?
so it's yeah, so and I find it's interesting with this like perfect book thing because I have, like there's a special edition right there behind me, and I won't touch that thing because I'm scared of it, right? Like I don't want to do anything to it. And that's
Yeah.
not right for books. Like I don't know. It bothers me that we treat them like that, although I do it too. I'm just as guilty of it. But so if I'm going to read, like I have beautiful copies of the whole series, and if I'm going to read it, I'm going to pick this one up and destroy this one. So yeah, I do read it again and again.
Oh my god. I
Mm.
love that.
I love that too. And I was saying I've never seen that cover. Do you have a lot of do you find that a lot of the covers that you're seeing on booktok are different from the ones that you have
Yeah.
or that are over?
Yes, I was actually just talking to somebody about this like a couple hours ago because I was like, I'm so old that my books are out of print, like the ones that I have. Like I can't believe it. So like I have a C.L. Wilson set that is completely out of print. They've just stopped selling it. Or like I have the original Court of Thorn and Roses. It's like the original paperbacks.
Oh, with the lady on the side or
Right.
whatever, like
Yeah.
half body.
And
Oh
Yeah, yeah.
every time
wow.
I didn't even realize this is like book talk tells me these things I don't even know. I like am waving it around talking about it, and then people will be like, "You have that set?" And I'm like, God, like I'm just that I just bought it
Yes.
because I'm old. Yeah, I bought it that long ago. So yeah, it's interesting. So I do have a lot of things on here, or like people comment all the time, like I've never seen that cover before, and it's funny how attached we get to, or like we recognize these things based off that stuff, and how important covers are. Oh my god, like I really tried to I ripped the cover off of the Winter King trying to make a point, right? I was like, fuck, the inside of the book doesn't change. We need to stop, being so hung up on what the outside looks like. It drives
Yeah.
me crazy. It's actually a huge pet peeve of mine. But we get really attached to those covers.
Yeah. And I think that comes from book talk because I granted I just was never a person. I like things kind of just being pristine and clean, but that's just my personality.
Yeah.
I want it to look good, even if I am reading it over and over again. I let my friend borrow my copy of Legendborn, and the dust jacket got ripped in the corner, and I wanted to cry. And I had to tell myself, this is just a book. This is just a book. So I really had to like calm down, Sierra. It's gonna be fine. So I could understand what you mean about it's not that big of a deal, but people, I guess, have their anal tendencies, and they're just like,
Yeah.
I want it to look
You need lending
pristine.
copies, and you need
I,
True.
I didn't realize this was a
Honestly, yeah,
library. I didn't realize that was. I didn't know I
You're
was
right. You're right.
starting a library. You know.
you had to, yeah. Pre book talk, I think all of mine, and I mean I read I think every James Patterson that was
Hmm.
ever written and printed. That was just like what I mean. It was like, those 3-page chapters, they're all cliffhangers. That is a smart. It's a real smart game plan. But all my paperbacks, the Da Vinci Code stuff, like those books are massacred. I mean, they are like the covers are falling off. They are I'm a dog ear, so it's like everything. But I think generally more careful now post book talk. I think my books are a little I still dog ear, but I think there's a little less of like so I think I'm just
I
buying
agree
so many
with you.
more hard covers than I used to. But
Well, and
I
I've
don't know.
tried to dive into Instagram. I might be the worst Instagrammer on the planet, but you have to keep the books in good shape if you want to go and take photos of them. So while I'm reading, I'm like, I got to take a picture of this after. So I got to keep this in decent shape.
Although, I mean, a gritty, you might have like a more gritty style of a type of book talk, which I think would be kind of cool and different because everyone has like this. It would be something different, curled up page
Yeah.
edges and things like that, frayed
I
edges and
think
all.
most
Yeah, I
people
think.
would describe my aesthetic as dog's breakfast in general. I think it's like
Absolutely
the
not.
Instagram, TikTok. It's just, it is what it is. It's fine.
Wait till you hear our pre-talk about what we thought of your aesthetic, because we definitely didn't say that.
Okay, thanks.
No, did not, did not, did not.
Before we leave that incredible show and tell, I do want to ask a Lord of the Rings question.
Oh, Jesus.
What
Okay.
are your thoughts on the new, if you're willing to share, what are your thoughts on the new series?
Oh, I'm like so excited. As soon as I heard about it, I messaged
It
everybody
looks
that I
really
knew would
good.
care. Yeah. And like $1 billion, $1 billion. Like, I am pants off excited. It's on top of my list.
It looks like it's going to be incredible. Yay. Good. Had to
All
ask.
right. Are we ready for rapid fire quick wit questions? So the
Yeah. Okay.
10
I
questions,
hope we
very
don't freeze
easy,
up.
no sweat off your brow. We'll alternate back and forth. It's very, very easy, I promise you. Ryan will start off
Okay.
and then we'll ping pong back and forth. Very easy.
Okay.
Take it away, Ryan.
Janessa at Mimo Reads. Are you ready for some quick wit?
Yes.
Morning, noon, or night?
Noon. It's an energy level thing.
Uh, I feel like we already know this, but favorite book growing up or your favorite book from high school?
Oh, that's actually um, Jane Eyre would be it.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where are you a regular?
Oh my God. There's this place downtown where close to I live called Crazy Carrot. And Uber likes to tell
Ooh.
me that I'm in the top 1% of their customers all the time. Uber Eats. It's totally
Right.
mortifying. I feel like they shouldn't, like, stop highlighting my mental illness.
You're like, this isn't Spotify. What's
Yeah,
happening?
Spotify needs to stop. Uber
Not them
Eats needs
keeping
to
your data
stop.
for like an end of the year wrap up.
Yeah, not interested. Yeah.
Oh gosh. Okay. A celebrity that's a friend in your head or a celebrity crush that you have.
Oh, Keanu Reeves. Anybody could have answered that for me. People send me Keanu Reeves stuff constantly. I feel very strongly that if he were ever to meet me, that would be it, and we could run off into the sunset together.
I really hope that
Thank
happens
you.
for you.
Me
I would
too.
like to tag along, please.
Yeah,
Thank
you're
you.
invited, both of you.
Oh, thanks.
If you could take us anywhere in the world tomorrow, where are we going?
Oh, um, Mardi Gras in New Orleans. I love it.
I've never been.
You've never been?
Never,
Oh, the
neither have
parades.
No.
Oh
I.
my God. You have to
No.
go. You have to go.
All right, settled. We're
Yeah.
We're
going.
going. We're going.
Keanu, if you're listening, get your beads,
I know.
bruh.
Yeah.
Meet us in Mardi Gras.
Sandra lives there. We could stay at her house in the Garden District.
Ah,
Sandy,
Yeah.
Sandy, we're
sounds like
coming.
a great time already.
Yeah.
Do you fall asleep to music, TV, or nothing?
Nothing. And I wear earplugs because I like the sound of my head. I don't know how to describe that. Like water, I guess. I'm not sure. But I wear earplugs.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's fun. You can say
What is
it.
your best Halloween costume ever?
I,
No, Sierra does the same thing. So she's like, that sounds great.
I know. I'm like, awesome. Sounds awesome.
I am the worst Halloween person on the planet. I don't like horror movies. When BookTok Halloween rolls around and they ask me for recommendations, it's not my playing field. I usually just was really super slutty, and that is how I left the house.
Yeah, you can never go wrong with a good slutty costume.
I'm sorry to disappoint you all. Yeah,
You can't.
They make them in every variety. Okay.
You do.
Yeah.
Slutty nurse, slutty doctor, slutty pumpkin.
no
Slutty
brainer.
pumpkin's my
I
favorite.
went to a Catholic
Okay.
high school.
Okay.
Okay. What is your theme song or your favorite go-to karaoke song?
Oh my, this is Miranda Lambert. Mama's Broken Heart is usually what I go for.
Okay.
You guys, this is so
That's a
embarrassing.
good one.
This is so embarrassing.
No, come to
it's
Or like my
Nashville.
theme
fun.
song would probably
Come
be
on
Eminem.
down.
Which one?
Yeah. Oh my god, the one from 8 Mile, because I feel like it's the eye of the tiger of my
Lose Yourself.
Oh yeah,
generation. So yeah.
yeah.
This
It
is
is.
true. This is true.
Yeah.
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 Hmm. How many books have you read this year?
Oh, I just checked it. It was like 50 some odd so far this year. I'm actually a little behind. I got stuck on a couple that I didn't like. So I usually do over 200.
Wait, are you? Did you?
Yeah, you froze
Did
with
you
your
say you
eyes
read
super
50
open,
and that
Ryan.
you're actually behind?
I'm a little behind if I want to hit 200. Yeah.
Oh
Oh
my
shit.
god. Okay, clearly Ryan and I are amateurs here.
I'm not sharing.
Oh my god.
Mhm.
Okay, last question here. What was the last thing to make you smile?
So Lucy Score, who I have talked about recently, is my new obsession. If you like Tessa Bailey, Lucy Score is easily comparable. And she sent me a box this week, and she put a note in about how much she likes my videos, and I almost cried. Like it's such a surreal thing.
That's
It's so
so
great. I bet there's a
cute.
lot of people like that you wouldn't even expect that you probably that love your videos. Um, they're so good, honestly, and they make you just make people honestly feel just welcome in, and I feel like warm and part of the circle. So you're like for real a friend in my head, and I'm very appreciative that you came today.
Oh, thank you. I really feel that way about all of you guys, and I don't know if that's if it's okay, but I feel like I am friends with all of you on Book Talk, and I love that. Thank you for having me.
Hey, thanks for being here. It feels like book talk feels like a family. It really does. You
Yeah.
know, you kind of get close to these people and you guys talk about it. And next thing you know, you're talking about life stories and things like that. So it does feel like sometimes like a little family reunion every once in a while. It's really sweet.
I agree.
So
I
Yeah.
text people every day that I met on Book Talk. Like they've become part of my life, which is
yeah,
bizarre.
yeah.
Where the hell are our texts?
You can have my phone number.
The hell? Sierra and I didn't. Yeah, you
I know,
better.
right?
You're gonna regret giving it to me. You're gonna regret
I'm like,
giving
shit.
it
I
to
just
me.
said you're my friend.
I'm gonna be like, I need
You're
those
gonna
trifecta Rex before the people do, Janessa.
Yeah, if you want the truth, the ones that I'm skipping. Yeah.
Sierra's so
That's what I want the tea, okay?
Such a mess.
Oh my gosh. Listen, you did it. Rapid fire, done. 10 quick questions.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Before we go, tell the people where they can find you on your TikTok, all of the things. Give them the rundown.
Oh, so TikTok is my main platform, and that's at Memo Reads, Meemo Reads. And the handle wasn't available on Instagram, so it's Memo_Reads on Instagram if you want to find me there. Um, I'm pretty active in leaving a lot of like personal stuff in my stories if you're interested in that, but the actual Instagram feed is not great. It's not great. But what I'm what I am reading and authors that I'm talking to and stuff are in my stories. So if you're interested in that, I'm up on that.
Awesome.
Love it.
Janessa, thank you
Love
so
it.
much again. This has been awesome.
Thank you for having me. I'm so glad you asked.
All right, all right. That was quite the chat, my friend.
It was. She's like really chill and like really cool. I
Very.
enjoyed her a lot. I enjoyed her a lot. I liked like having seen her like kind of be embarrassed about her nightstand. That was so funny. Oh my gosh. I thought she
So
was super
funny.
cool. Yeah, very,
I
very
I
cool.
agree. I could have honestly just I want to like sit next to her at lunch and just talk about the passersby. I just feel like that
Mhm.
is someone that you just want to like sit with for a while. I found a lot of the stuff we talked about so interesting, but I think the show and tell is my favorite.
Oh
The I can't tell you how I connect with a beat up book, and you
my god.
could
Mhm.
tell there was like a reverence when she picked it up and held the copy. Like there were a few times where Janessa just looked back down at the book and and like was showing off the little pieces and was like, well, this little edge and this I don't know, there was a real softness there, and I thought that was
Yeah.
so like, oh, you really care for that book, and I loved that.
You could kind of see like her like just going through fast forwarding the time of all the time she's picked it up and read it and
I
and
thought the
loved it.
same thing. I
Yeah,
did. You
yeah,
saw
yeah.
the photo show goes. Yeah.
Yeah. But I
Wow.
also feel like she really loves books and not just in a way
Yeah.
like loves them to the point where they get beat up and really like takes in the information and even how she talked about like how she likes writing in books because when she goes back that was her way of learning. I was like, come on
Because she
sis.
doesn't feel the same. Now that shit, I gotta be honest. That now I take it back. The Lord of the Rings wasn't my favorite. That was actually my
Mhm.
favorite. Good call.
Yeah.
Be, it's okay. It's a little bit of your, hey, I rated these high and now I'm going to go back and I don't feel the same anymore. But can you
Yes.
imagine going back after a couple years of reading something and just seeing like what your basically like your little diary footnotes say?
Yes, yes.
That's
And
some deep
hearing
stuff.
her talk about it that way, it really made me kind of like wonder, like, oh my God, should I start doing something like that myself? Because we in the moment when you're reading something and you're like, oh, this is the greatest thing on earth, and then you
That's
go back
true.
and you're like, this is complete shit. Like it had, like those kinds of moments happen, and I was like, I thought that was an awesome just kind of like a method, I guess, that she does. I thought it was
Yeah.
so cool. So very, very smart. Very smart.
Now, what happens when you read the same book a couple times and you're like, okay, that was V1 of me. Here's V2. Maybe switch the color
Right.
pens. I don't know. Hmm.
I
Hmm.
really, really loved hearing
That was a
that.
good, yeah.
That's the first time we've heard so far when we've interviewed, we've heard someone say something like that in terms of going back and rereading and how it's also a learning uh the way for her to learn. Like, she's learning about
How
herself,
your
she's learning
feelings
about the
evolve.
world.
Yeah. That was crazy. Crazy.
You never stop learning. So I just I really enjoyed her. I enjoyed her a
I
lot.
did too.
And her
We
hair
need
was
to go to
super shiny.
Canada and then you two need to come so we can do some karaoke in
In
Nashville.
Nashville. Yes, I'm down. I'm always down. I love
That
a good
Miranda
trip.
Lambert song is good too.
I
You should
feel
listen
like
to it.
I've heard it before. So
It's good.
Miranda Lambert's good. Miranda Lambert's good. I like her. Yeah.
Yeah. I think she's got like a puppy rescue thing here. Yeah, I mean, no, so
Oh,
that,
she.
that's
Oh,
nice.
really?
And now, yeah, she's got like some puppy rescue here.
That's
I
super
don't know.
cute.
Yeah.
That's super cute. All
Anyways.
right, friend. Is that it for us today?
That is, I just met a very good friend of mine. I feel very excited.
Yeah, yeah. I think we had a really even more awesome talk once the cameras cut. I enjoyed her a lot. I
Before
enjoyed
and
her.
after.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry.
Sorry, y'all.
Sorry, friends. We had to keep something for
Sorry.
ourselves.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I can't wait to talk to her more. I love her.
Same.
I love her. With
Me
that being
too.
said, guys, please make sure you are following us on our social medias. We are on TikTok at sierra.and.ryan. And we're also on YouTube at sierra.and.ryan.talktok. Ooh, say that 5 times
That's what
fast.
I-
Right. We're
So
also
is that
on.
facial calisthenics? Yeah.
We're also on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and SoundCloud. Wherever you listen to us, please make sure that you are sharing, subscribing, and reviewing. It really helps us out, puts us on closer to the top of the charts, which is where we want to be. So yeah, do that.
Let
I
us
think
know.
that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, that was it. That
All
was
right.
great.
Okay. Bye, y'all.
Till next time.